For over 35 years, my professional life has been singularly focused on cultivating and leveraging human potential. As an educator, a chief executive officer, community volunteer, and advocate, even as a parent, my job is to enable, empower, and break down barriers so that people and organizations are positioned for success. What I know from experience is that none of that magic happens in the absence of positive mental health and well-being. These things are quite simply foundational to learning, succeeding, thriving in a complex world. That world has become all the more volatile, uncertain, and ambiguous over the last 15 months as we've responded to and initiated our recovery from COVID. Macaulay and Gavitt published research from a survey of 1,500 people in 46 countries about what COVID has done to our well-being. Overwhelmingly, respondents reported mental health declines, challenges with meeting basic needs, and feelings of loneliness and isolation. They quote a 36-year-old female manager who said, "Coping with pervasive anxiety and worry takes up a lot of bandwidth. I'm expending more energy than normal to manage the noise in my head. It's exhausting. I'm too tired to work out. I'm too tired to FaceTime with friends or family. I'm too tired to cook healthy meals." The New York Times published an article titled, "There's a name for the blah you're feeling. It's called languishing." The author described languishing as the middle ground between depression and flourishing, with depression being the value of ill-being where you feel despondent, drained, and worthless. By contrast, he described flourishing as the peak of well-being, wherein you have a strong sense of meaning, mastery, and mattering to others. I've developed a particular affinity over recent years for the word flourishing, and I think a lot about what influences people, organizations, and communities to live their best lives. I see this as truly central to my leadership orientation because when people and organizations are languishing, their potential can't be fully harnessed. To be blunt, if leadership for you is about motivating and mobilizing people, you'll fall flat from the get-go if your employees are consumed by managing noise in their heads. Imagine what all of this means for productivity, quality, your commitment to excellence. No matter your line of work, cultivating mental health and well-being through your leadership practice is crucially important. Not just for personal or social reasons. I mean, clearly it's the right thing to do, but for economic ones too. As the leader of a $400 million business, I'm acutely aware that languishing students are more likely to fail out or exit for other reasons. You'll appreciate this is not good for my bottom line or for my organization's reputation. The broader social and economic consequences are staggering. The Mental Health Commission of Canada estimated mental illness will cost Canada $80 billion in 2021. $80 billion. Clearly, that number warrants our attention. Investing proactively in the mental health of employees will reduce your costs by driving a wealth of positive outcomes, including improved employee retention and job satisfaction, increased productivity, improved customer service, reduced employee-related risks, and enhanced reputation. There's an opportunity here for smart, strategic, authentic leaders to shine. It does demand, though, that we both lean in and live our values. So what is the path to flourishing, not floundering in school, at work, in your personal or your professional life? Well, I define mentally healthy environments as those where policies, practices, programs, and the leadership cultivate and live a culture of compassion. Here's what Garen Staglin, chair of One Mind at Work, thinks that means in practical terms. It means creating a culture of care. It means making it easy for employees to ask for accommodations. It means fostering an open dialogue on the issue by showcasing role models, encouraging personal storytelling, and providing examples of success. It means focusing on leadership training and giving managers the skills they need to have conversations about mental health and mental health challenges. So clearly, all of this has to start at the top. People need to see that you care deeply and genuinely about their well-being. For me, that means being accessible and modeling vulnerability. I actively source mediums to talk frankly about stress, anxiety, and the illusion of work-life balance in a double-income home with two busy teenagers. Ever mindful of my privacy, for example, I share snippets of my private life on social media, and I carefully curate backdrops in my home to shoot videos. I heard Barack Obama speak recently, and he said that the value in sharing stories is that doing it makes you realize that a part of someone else's story is your story too. This, he said, is how we build community. I found that very powerful. Perhaps most importantly, I need to be a role model in my supervision of others, my openness to crucial conversations, and with regards to self-care. To be blunt, I think it's near impossible to lead in this space if you aren't yourself investing in proactive, healthy behaviors. You don't have to be perfect, but you do need to walk the talk. Personally, I found value in a model from the UK called 5 Ways to Well-being. So here's my challenge to you. Over the next week, be conscious about connecting. Be more active. Take more notice of the world around you. Learn something new and give back. Easy peasy, as my daughter would say. Well, maybe not easy, but it is fundamental. There's a quote from Diane Ackerman, an American poet, that encapsulates my personal definition of flourishing. She wrote, "I don't want to get to the end of my life and find that I have just lived the length of it. I want to have lived the width of it as well. This is what I wish for you and for the people you lead."